Dogs and teasers. Time to go over the live dogs and the teasers. You tell me, where do you want to start? I think we've got a bunch of interesting angles no matter where we go first.
I'd like to start with the game tomorrow. Dallas and Philly.
Okay.
How many points do you need to take Dallas? 8.5 to me is a lot. I think this game should be 7. 7 was always the right number to me. And then, we're 6.5 when Parsons gets traded. But it's very difficult. While Parsons might be worth 2.5 points, it's very difficult to see that going through the 7. Like, look, if Dallas is an 11-point favorite, okay, let's make it 9. If Dallas is a 3-point favorite, let's make it 1. But when the line is hanging 6.5 all summer and we're going through 7 this much to 8.5, 9, that's a lot. It's more amplified to me around the 7. Now, 3 is the most key number in the NFL. 7's number 2. I think going through 7's a mistake. Could be way off about that. But I think 8.5 at BetMGM right now is a big number. Would you be willing to jump in on Dallas north of 8? Yes or no?
I would rather play the total. I'd rather play the total. I'd rather play props. I think it's very interesting what's happening in the market, though, because the sharp books are at 8. The public books are at 8.5. And then there's some other offshores now. You mentioned one early this morning that was at 9. Now I'm seeing a few of them over at 9. So that's really interesting. So where does this end up closing? Down a little bit? Does the sharp action push that down? Or, hey, it's the season opener. Everybody's going to have a bet on this in some form or fashion. And there's going to be a lot of public money that's going to drive that one up. I find that interesting. I don't plan on playing the side. If I were to, I don't think I'm going to take Dallas. I've seen it too often. This could be Eagles in a runaway, like it was last year when they played, and it was 34-6, something like that.
I think they're live at 8.5. Now, Are they live to win the game? That's a different conversation. Although I've always thought those week 1 openers, those Thursday night games, when the champs are there, the rings are out, the trophies being floated around, you got all these distractions. You got to get tickets for this family, and then this family needs tickets, and there's so much going on that's off the field. Remember the Patriots one year were huge favorites, and then the Chiefs whooped their ass. That's just one example, of course, but it's not impossible. And look, if Dak has a big game, Dak throws for 300-plus yards, they could sneak out of there. I would take Dallas money line before I would take Philly money line. And you can get plus 350 at BetMGM. That's the highest number I see across America. A lot of the Vegas books are 330, 340. 350 is a nice number at BetMGM. So that was just the place I wanted to start because it is tomorrow. As for live dogs on Sunday, you know where I'm going with this one. It's Vegas. Vegas is going to beat the Patriots. Yeah, they're going to win. Plus 130. Best price I could get there. I am just very, very nervous for Drake May. I think it's going to take time for that left side to come together. Not many NFL teams, Joe, in the history of the league have started a rookie at left tackle and left guard. That's the quarterback's blind side. That's not ideal. Drake May had to learn an entirely new offense this whole summer. If they find rhythm, which is possible, I don't think it's going to happen in week 1. I think the Raiders are more prepared to win early in the season. I think they have a better quarterback. I think they have a better defensive line. And Pete Carroll has a lot to like. So I like the Raiders a lot. They are very live. And I've even tried to lob that out there in my Survivor chats. Hey, Raiders, question mark? Now, everybody says no, but that's where I'm at.
But the Patriots beat the Bengals in week 1 last year.
Mm-hmm. And?
Exactly. I've been hearing that. I'm like, so? What does that have to do with anything that we're talking about? Outside of the Bengals being bad. Yeah.
Wasn't even playing
and he wasn't
quarterback.
there.
That was
Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett was the quarterback.
Yeah. I'm with you. There are a number of games in that price range that I think are enticing. And let me throw another at you. Falcons plus 118. Falcons at home dog in the division against Tampa Bay. They swept the Bucs last year. We like the ceiling with Penix. It's a matter of that defense. This game's probably going to come down to a kick at the end, right? Like that's what typically happens, and it's a division game between these two teams. I like the Falcons at plus 118. We like them big picture, but I am asking a lot for them to take down the Bucs once again, but I could see it happening.
If it's a close game, that's probably a place where you would look to take the 6 points and add that on top. So that would be one of my favorite teasers, to take Atlanta from 2.5 up to 8.5. Somebody sent me a text yesterday. They were trying to make a 2-team 6-point teaser at a book that will not be named. What do you think the price was on a 2-team 6-point teaser? Minus what? Minus one. Okay. What?
I know there are plenty of books that are already doing $1.30. So do we even know these prices? I'm wondering if prices changed from last year. Have people even tried to tease? You're not supposed to tease college football, but I wonder if people have looked up the prices. My first guess is $1.40.
$1.48.
Outrage. They're basically saying, don't do teasers here. We don't want to.
I would never even think about teasing at minus 148. Now, there are some accounts, and you know what I'm talking about, that would allow you to tease at minus 110 or minus 115. But that's not going to be at your traditional sports book. And you know what I'm talking about. But the way that they just handcuff you with the math on these teasers is absurd. Minus 130 is ridiculous. I got guys complaining about minus 130 that live in Vegas that can't tease.
Oh,
Tommy Lorenzo talks about this all the time. Tommy Lorenzo said that was the worst thing for Vegas when they made the teasers minus 130. So if he's up in arms about going into a Vegas book and laying minus 130, how bad is minus 148?
It might be worth a post-game discussion with us, whether we're even going to talk about this. Because I mentioned the Green Book 135, the Blue Book's 134. Like, for most of our listeners, is this a waste of time? Because I don't think we should recommend them at those prices. At what's the stop point? But for the purpose of this week, if you are betting teasers, what else is out there? You like Vegas to win. Well, Vegas plus 8.5 plus 9 is also a very good teaser leg at a low total of 43 in the hook. I was looking at that one. You mentioned Atlanta, of course. What about the Jets? We can get that to 8.5 and 9 going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Why do you laugh?
Because the final score of this game is going to be 17-16. That's why I laugh. But that would be great if you were teasing the dog up. The total in the game is down to 38.5. So if you take a 2.5 point dog and tease them up, the math is certainly in your favor.